guys, and welcome back to Mental Health Mondays, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel. My name is Maddie. I hope you really enjoy today's video. So you may have seen that I've been a little bit absent on the YouTube scene lately. I did upload a vlog, my last video, kind of explaining where things went wrong. It's so weird because after my last Mental Health Monday video, which was with my boyfriend Sam, all about BPD, and I was saying in it like, oh yeah, I've got everything under control, it was almost as if BPD kind of like was like, oh, do you really? And like has come out to test me. Anyway, so I've been struggling for the past few weeks or so. I've definitely hit a kind of low that I haven't experienced in a long time, and it's been really difficult, but I thought I would use that to my advantage and just try and at least upload weekly my mental health videos. Keep getting hair stuck to my lip gloss. This jumper is so fluffy. Something I've been really struggling with recently is controlling my anger. It's a symptom of BPD, they call it, I wrote it down, inappropriate intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. This was something that when I last saw my psychiatrist we spoke quite a bit on, and I just thought I would share like the tips that we talk through with you guys in case you are going through something similar. It doesn't have to be BPD, just, I mean, general tips on controlling anger. I think the thing is with BPD, the anger is inappropriate, like it says, because you react hugely to like tiny things. Your anger may seem excessive to like onlookers, like to my boyfriend. I mean, he, you know, he's good at understanding now, but first of all, he was just like, he said to me it was like a child having a tantrum, but I will literally get angry at the smallest things. To give an example, a couple of days ago I was really tired in the evening, and Sam didn't get back till like 8 o'clock, and I just said to him, I just really want to go to bed. I'm not that bothered about dinner. And he's like, oh no, don't worry, like I'll make you dinner and I'll bring it you in bed, angel. So yeah, he made a nice dinner and he brought it to me in bed, and he handed me a glass of water, and I put the water down and it spilled all over this brand new rug that I just bought that I put next to my bed. And that was it. That was literally it. Like I was, you know, I was feeling tired and irritable anyway. I was just so angry at myself that I had done that, and I just kind of was like, nope, that's it, I'm not going to eat dinner. So I literally didn't know what to do with myself. And you know, then it can lead to like inflicting that anger upon yourself. Once I was having issues with the drawers in my desk, they kept opening as if like a ghost was pulling it open, and I just got so frustrated and I ripped the drawer of the desk off and like managed to somehow snap it. I'm not that strong. I find my anger a lot comes out through frustration. It's usually when I've done something wrong or I can't do something. So yeah, I brought this up with my psychiatrist recently, and we had a really interesting discussion because he said to me that he really hates this, he's Danish, he hates this English phrase of blowing off steam, because in actual fact when you're angry that's not what you should do, like blow off steam, because it just rolls you up even more. It doesn't, apparently it doesn't help you to blow off steam. I mean, obviously I guess it depends how you blow off steam, because sometimes it's better to like punch a pillow and stuff rather than punching a wall. So if you're talking in those contexts, then yeah, like if you feel you have to blow off steam. But he asked me like, what do you think you could do instead of all of these things that you do when you get angry? And I was literally like, don't know. I just flip and I react really quickly. I find that I go from 0 to 100 literally like that. I find that coping mechanisms are really difficult. You forget them when you're in that state and you don't really want to do them. You're angry, you don't want to think about deep breathing and mindfulness when you're like, do you know what I mean, when you're in that state of mind. He actually explained to me and did this drawing, I don't know if you can see it because my ring light's quite bright, of the amygdala in the brain, which I think is really good to learn like the science behind it and stuff. So I've recorded it as well I can. Don't take my word on this. I'm not a scientist, psychologist, psychiatrist, or any of that, but from what I gather, this is what happens when you get angry. So in the limbic system in the brain, there's a small, I think it's like almond shaped thing, and that's the amygdala. So that's responsible for things to do with your fight and flight and emotions and all of that. When you get angry and all of these emotions and hormones come up, your amygdala gets flooded, and before your brain even has the time to send a signal to the thinking part of your brain, you're reacting. And why this is that in times of a caveman, if you saw a lion killing your child, you wouldn't sit there and think, what am I gonna do? You would get angry that said lion is killing your child, and you would react, fight or flight, maybe try and fight off the lion with your club, whatever. That's why it happens. The amygdala gets flooded, and then you get angry. And quite often, well, I know especially with BPD, this state of anger can last quite a while, and it's really, really, really hard to calm yourself down from that. I find I often get myself more and more and more frustrated and riled up because different things happen. I get angry, I try and do something, I do something else wrong, and it's just a huge big circle of anger. So this leads me on to tips. Now, I read quite a few articles online because I wanted to see what came up when I typed in BPD and anger. Not a lot of useful information, I have to say. There was a lot of articles, not knocking their tips, but personally I didn't find them helpful. So here are the ones that I actually have written down in my therapy book. These are the ones that me and my psychiatrist came up with. This is what I'm going to be putting into practice, so we can all do it together and we can help each other and let each other know how we're getting on. So first of all, what's important to know is to learn what triggers you. The easiest way to do this is to write down a diary of anger, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I have then been able to realize that it's usually when I can't do something or when something goes wrong. It's usually when something goes wrong and then I just can't deal with it. So make a diary of your anger, learn what your triggers are, because that is the most important. Then once you've learned what your triggers are, you can learn what your anger looks like and feels like when it's in like the first stages of like brewing, like frustration, like just something in the back of your mind where you're feeling a little bit irritable, because it's so much easier to help yourself when you're in that state than when you're in the red zone, as I like to call it. So ask yourself, how do you feel and how do you react? For me, I know that my breathing quickens, my thoughts are all over the place, and I just get really like irritated. For example, it literally happened when I was getting ready for this video. I couldn't find a spot in my house to film, and I was getting really frustrated because it's going wrong, and this jumper is beautiful, but it's, oh my god, it's so hot, like the neck's all itchy, and just, yeah, I could feel myself getting annoyed. So I sat down, took a step back and spoke to myself. Tip number one is to distract yourself when you can. Distraction is probably my favorite technique ever. Like, just for everything, for recovery, for life, I find it's the most helpful. Obviously, you need to tackle a deeper problem, but distraction I love. I tell you for why, because it means you have an excuse to go and do something that you enjoy. Say you're doing your work, you're trying to film a video, you're trying to revise, anything it is, you get really angry. You have an excuse to take a break and go and do something else that you enjoy. So when you sense yourself getting frustrated, instead of letting that escalate, remove yourself from the situation, go and watch a film. What I like to do is read like a magazine or do an arrow word, something that doesn't really take much of your concentration but takes you away from what you were doing. I remember that it's okay to take a break, because you're not going to get anywhere if you then carry on rolling with these feelings of frustration. You're just going to end up getting really angry, and then that's just really destructive. Tip number two is to try and reason with yourself. It's probably the hardest because, like I said, when you're in that situation, you don't want to reason with yourself. You don't want to think rationally. Your irrational brain takes over, and that can be very overpowering. When I'm in the moment, I find it very hard, and I do relapse and I do mess up and I do let this thing in my head take over. So talk to yourself, sit yourself down and say, Maddie, this anger is not going to get you anywhere. For me, anger is just a destructive emotion. It doesn't have to happen every single day whenever something goes wrong in your day, because things are going to go wrong. Just take yourself off, go and do something nice for the time being and let yourself calm down, because everything's going to be okay. That's kind of like the thought process that I would go through if I was trying to reason with myself. And then finally, point number 3, which is interesting because, like I said, I find anger is a very destructive and unhelpful emotion, but you can channel anger into something helpful. Obviously, you know, like I said, in times way back when we had cavemen, anger would help you fight. It would, you know, that adrenaline would help you. So anger can be channeled into something good. Sometimes anger is useful to kind of help you pinpoint what it is that you're actually struggling with. And in actual fact, if you're angry at something in your life, that anger and that energy you may be able to channel into making positive changes. If it's something that you're continually getting angry about, maybe it's time to think, okay, let's use this anger, let's use this energy, because I'll tell you, I don't have a lot of energy at the moment, into what can I do to make this happen or to change this. Whatever it is, obviously that is a very difficult one to channel your anger, because usually, you know, you just lose your head. But yeah, so I really hope this video was helpful. I do think anger and BPD is a really interesting topic. I actually had a girl message me the other day about BPD, and she was just like, is it normal to just kick off at every little thing? And I was like, yeah. With BPD, I would say yeah. But there are ways you can combat it, and hopefully the tips that I've given you in this video will help you. I know I am going to be putting them into practice. I do hope that this makes you feel not so alone, and hopefully gives you some hope and things that you can do. I also really appreciate your response to my last video. I kind of knew that you guys like me being honest, but like I was really kind of overwhelmed by the response, saying that it made you guys feel less alone. I think that is like my aim in just making videos, is to make you feel less alone and to help you, and well, you guys help me as well. Like I've had so many nice messages over the past couple of weeks from you. So yeah, let's help each other, and I'll continue on being honest. So yeah, I'm gonna try and be uploading every week on a Monday evening, and I'm sending all my love to all of you. If you haven't subscribed and you found this video useful, then please do click the subscribe button down below, and also make sure you have my notifications on to let you know when I've actually uploaded, because you know they might be a bit sporadic. So yeah, best to have those on. So I will see you soon. Goodbye.